Vigor has many lush and beautiful maps to showcase to us, all inspired from the great setting of Norway that the game takes place in. Ever since the game's launch, there has been an effort made to try and crack where these maps are exactly located in Norway. This scroll is what we will be covering in today's video, as I once again attempt to answer this question through a new method that has been discovered by me and Bobo. The method that is going to be utilized in today's video is the 0.6 map. So let's get right into this. So before I cover our new findings with the 0.6 map, I should point out that there are many other methods that have been tried, ranging from utilizing the E8 map sign as well as map codes to try to deduce which map is where the maps are in real life. I've covered a couple of these, but I plan to visit all of these ideas in a new video soon. So the focus of today's video blasts us back to the past during the time of 0.6. The game was very different during this time, and I am going to play some background footage from 0.6. This footage is not from me, but from another YouTuber who was around at this time, and I'll credit him in the description. So the big thing that we're focusing on today is not all the varying differences that existed back then, but how the map for selecting encounters was different. Back in the day, the map used to show a bunch of locations with timers on it because maps would rotate in and out of rotation, and each of these map markers was a map. So I have now labeled all the map markers in the map you see on screen, and it basically, this is which map was where. Using this, we can kind of get an idea of where each map is in IRL, because this is a region that exists in real life. So following these little map markers, we can trace them all to their real life locations. So starting off with the Sniper's Paradise, we have Falcanton. This map, based off the 0.6 map, is located just south of a valley. By following its instructions, we get the following image. The location seems to be very much what Fell's terrain was based off of, with an east and west mountain, as well as a low ground with a small lake. While it isn't exact, it definitely seems to be the inspiration. Next, we have Grontheim. This map shows off the clear area that Grontheim is based off of, a town and a valley where two roads meet, one going north and the other heading south. And especially with how they're in a valley that's, very much surrounded by imposing mountains, it is without a doubt what Grontheim is based off of. Next, heading over to the area that Vicky is marked on, we get this area. This area has no towns IRL, but to the south we get a town that vaguely resembles Vicky. This town is called Mestervik. This area, much like Vicky, has a large body of water with shores on the opposite side, as well as some residential, and it could be a minor town that might have a, train in it. So while it's not an exact copy because it doesn't actually have a train in real life, and it doesn't really have tunnels, and it is less isolated because it's on a decently large road, it is a decent inspiration. Following Vicky is Fist. The map marker puts it near Bjerkfjord. Due to the fact it's west of Bjerkfjord, we can look at an area that, if we look around Bjerkfjord, looks vaguely like Fist. We can see some more gentle hills and more sloped mountains all along the shoreline. Likely the addition of the peninsulas in the town was done to not only make the map more interesting, but also due to the fact that as a location that's at the center of a lot of nearby waterways, it does make sense for a fishing village to exist here, even if one doesn't in reality. Following from Fist, we get the location it places the shelter. This is one that I do have an issue with. While the shelter could be located here, it is a mountainous area with a decent amount of foliage. Just like the shelter, the east side of the coast extends longer than the west side. My issue, though, is that this area is pretty tightly populated and is more so beachfront property. And it's also nowhere near E8, which is a sign we clearly see in the tutorial, which is known to be right next to the tutorial. This area was very much likely the inspiration, but I do not think it is the actual location of the shelter in-game. The final map is the one I have the largest issue with, as the 0.6 map places Drog a good 59.9 kilometers west of the nearest battery fort, which we know the map is based off of. It also places the map in the middle of a plains, nowhere near any islands or peninsulas. This was likely done to make up for the size of the map, a 0.6 map chooser, because they couldn't place it any farther west without zooming the map out more. In conclusion, I believe that this has given us good insight into several maps' possible locations, and while there are mistakes, I think this is just due to artistic liberties as well as making the map look good. In conclusion, I think a lot can be learned from this, as in where positioning of these maps are, and really their inspiration pieces. But that's just my thoughts. Till next time, this has been Christopher Reese, and I'll see you all next time.